I don't hear the music.
Welcome to Moonshot Radio with your host, Dr. Nivea Torres.
Greetings and welcome to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, also known as KRC. Our mission is that all children in Indian River County will be ready for kindergarten. We proudly partner with the Moonshot Moment, transforming the next generation in Indian River County by having 90% of all students reading on grade level by the third grade. With me today here in the studio is Jessica Schmidt. Jessica is the Executive Director of Literacy Services of Indian River County. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
We're very excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
Jessica, talk to us a little bit about your role as Executive Director.
Great. So it's a newer role. I've been here almost a year, actually, in December. We do one-on-one tutoring in small groups for literacy and ESL students. And as the executive director, I'm oversee our programming with our tutor trainer, Annalie Vieira, and our North County coordinator, Alita Gomez. So they help coordinate all the tutors who are volunteers and all of our students. So we're really, we have about almost 300 students and 190 tutors. So it's a big job, and we're a small but mighty team.
And that's quite a reach for the county.
Yeah.
Jessica, talk to us a little bit about the core mission of literacy services.
So our mission is to provide tutoring services to improve the literacy skills of local adults, and our vision is to end generational illiteracy. And when we talk about literacy, that's not only learning to read, it's also learning English. Actually, now most of our students are English as a second language learners, or ESL as we call them.
Talk to us a little bit about when you talk about generational literacy. Explain that for us.
Yeah, that's why we are proud partners of the Moonshot Moment. We feel that if the parent or caregiver is not able to read at home, then the student won't succeed in school. So we really drive that home with our students that, you know, they need to pass down these things that they're learning with their tutors, how to read English, to be involved with their child's education and help them with their homework. Some parents come to us and they aren't able to do that. And after they learn to read or learn English, they are, and they see the difference it makes in their child's schooling.
So you're not necessarily just reaching one person in the family, but you're impacting everybody through the services.
Yeah, we're hoping to pass it down generations. Like I believe any nonprofit should be trying to work themselves out of business. We want to make sure every person in this county can read. And so we are starting with the adults. Other organizations start with the kids, but it all comes together to make sure that everybody can read to succeed.
And do you have any statistics, any numbers about adult literacy in Indian River County?
Yeah, so about 1 in 5 adults in Indian River County, struggles to read.
Wow.
And I believe it's about 13% of households speak another language besides English as their primary language at home. I know kind of nationally, about 2 million immigrants come here annually, and about half of those lack the basic education or language proficiency they need. So you can see between those three statistics that there is quite a demand for these services in our community.
There's definitely a demand. So how do you recruit students for your program? How do they learn about the services that you provide, Jessica?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have right now a waiting list, so we don't actively recruit. But what happens is that so many students pass it along to their friends and family. It's really a word of mouth, organic type of recruitment. They see the success that their peers have had, and they want the same help, so they come to us. We know that there's probably more literacy students out there, and that's something we want to target because we do feel like it's an underserved population. So we're hoping to get more volunteers so that we can find those students in the community. We like to do radio shows like this so that they can hear about us and learn about literacy services and where to find us.
So if someone is interested in being one of your students, how do they go about doing that? Is there a specific requirement?
Yeah, no requirements except that we are adults program. So 16 and up, they can be literacy or ESL. We have offices in all the libraries, and our office hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. We're in the Vero Library, Sebastian Library, and we have a location in Fellsmere that we share the space with Kindergarten Readiness. So they can come into any of those locations and sign up. We add them right to the waiting list, and then depending on their schedule and availability and what tutors we have, we'll match them up as soon as we can. We have a lot of students waiting that need nighttime tutoring, so that is a volunteer need. If they can meet during the day, they're more likely to get pulled off that waiting list sooner.
So if I am interested in getting services, I walk into the library and I say I want help with, I'm just using as an example, getting my driver's license or my citizenship test. Are these things that you customize based on the need that the student has? How does it work?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. We start everybody in a skill book. We assess their level, but then they all come with their own individual goals. And that could be driver's license or citizenship. So as they're working to improve their skills, we help them with that. And we do have books to work with them on citizenship and driver's license to practice those questions and those vocabulary words to succeed in those goals.
So now that we're talking about goals, can you give some specific examples of goals that some of your students have achieved through the program?
Yeah, last year, speaking of citizenship, 13 became United States citizens, and that's such a proud moment for the students. I'm going to refer to some notes here, too, because I don't want to mess it up. 23 started college. 43 improved their financial literacy. 26 can now use a computer. Over 227 reading levels were advanced between all of our students, and 144 improved their communication skills. And like we were talking about earlier, the generational piece, 56 became more engaged in their child's education. So we're really proud of all that they're achieving, and we like the flexibilities that the tutors have to work with them on their individual goals so that they can get that hand up that they need.
Certainly some great accomplishments, Jessica. What about the demographics of the students that you serve? You talked about they have to be 16 and up. Any data in regards to that?
Yeah, so about 50% of our students are in the age range of 25 to 44. Then we have some younger. We have only maybe a handful of high school students, and then some over 44, but that big bulk is that kind of 25 to 44. Of our 295 students, they represented 27 countries, including in addition to the United States. Over 80% of our students were ESL, and then there's a small group of that population that also needed literacy skills in their own language. Well, they're illiterate in their own language, so really starting the bottom there, and then ESL, and then we had about 15% literacy students last year.
So you mentioned ESL. For folks who are not aware, who don't necessarily understand this concept, what is the difference between direct literacy tutoring or services that you provide and ESL for some of the students?
Yeah, so literacy would be learning to read. They might have gone all the way through school, but they have so many coping mechanisms that they were able to get by without being able to read, but they realize later on in life that they can't get ahead without that skill. So they come to us and ask for help. ESL, that kind of ranges too. They could have immigrated here and gone to school, have a degree in their own language, just need to get a grasp of the English language to get started here. Or they could lack the basic education, like I mentioned earlier, and need literacy help as well as ESL. So it really ranges the gamut. And then we have skill books that we can assess their level and start them on a certain level. The one we use primarily is the Lawback method. That's been proven to work for decades. That works for both ESL and literacy students. There's different teaching manuals, but it's the same workbook. So it really is a great tool and resource for all of our students.
Jessica, and what is sort of the average time span or range that a student is with you? I'm thinking of, the example that you just shared, that someone might be at a basic level or semi-literate in their language. So what would be the time period to get them to a point?
That's a good question. It depends on their goal, and sometimes they come and they say they only want their driver's license, but once that door is open for them, they realize how much more they could achieve, and so they'll stay with the program for longer. We want them to commit to at least 3 months, but some students are with us for a few years. We just had our first set of students to really graduate, work through all the skill books, and they were with us about 5 years.
Wow.
So it can range a lot. I would say most are about a year to maybe 2 years, but some keep going and just keep working to get ahead. So we're really proud of those students. And this year is the first year we'll actually have sort of a graduation ceremony for those students to recognize the goals that they are achieving along the way. So many of them might have had a graduation to attend.
Right.
So it'll be a neat opportunity for them to get inspired and also celebrate what they've accomplished.
Wow. Being with you for 5 years, I can just imagine the growth over time for those students.
Yeah, that one individual student, he had been working out on the golf course outside every day in the heat. And now he's in administration, has received a pay raise, and is working inside with his peers and, communicating in English. So that was really exciting accomplishment for him.
Jessica, we're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors, but we will be right back.
At the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, our vision is for every parent, regardless of income or zip code, to have the knowledge and tools they need to raise healthy children that are prepared for kindergarten. Our mission is to support our partners in developing a high-quality early childhood system that is family-centered. Our outreach and parent engagement specialists connect with families and build trusted relationships. KRC has chosen Fellsmere and Gifford as our two focus areas in Indian River County. Our Fellsmere office is located downtown in the city annex, and our new Gifford office is located within Victory Park Apartments. Our administrative offices are now located adjacent to Healthy Start and Treasure Coast Community Health in Vero Beach. The Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, developing a high-quality early childhood system for all children in Indian River County.
For more than 160 years, PNC has been committed to providing their clients with great service and powerful financial expertise to help them meet their financial goals. The PNC Foundation, which receives its principal funding from the PNC Financial Services Group, actively supports organizations that provide services for the benefit of communities in which it has significant presence. The foundation focuses its philanthropic mission on early childhood education and community and economic development, which includes arts and culture. Through Grow Up Great, its signature cause that began in 2004, PNC has created a bilingual $350 million multi-year initiative to help prepare children from birth to age 5 for success in school and life. For more information, go to pncgrowupgreat.com.
Riverside Theater presents Smokey Joe's Cafe, one of Broadway's longest-running hits. Smokey Joe's Cafe is the rockin' revue that'll have your hands clapping and your toes tapping. With classics such as Jailhouse Rock, Stand By Me, Yakety Yak, and more, Smokey Joe's Cafe is a fun-filled night of rock and roll that will have you singing and dancing all the way home. With thanks to presenting sponsor Mel and Linda Teets, Smokey Joe's Cafe plays Riverside Theater October 23rd through November 11th. Get tickets now at riversidetheater.com.
The United Way of Indian River County is in search of volunteers for VITA, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. VITA volunteers do more than just prepare taxes. They play a critical role in ensuring that income-eligible taxpayers receive valuable tax credits without paying any fees. As a volunteer, you'll receive free IRS training and online certification. So if you're computer savvy, enjoy a rewarding challenge, and like to help members of your community, then consider becoming a VITA volunteer for the 2019 tax season. Online training begins in November, and volunteers are asked to commit 4 to 8 hours per week from January through April to a VITA site. To request more information or to sign up, please contact Eve Balance at the United Way of Indian River County by calling 772-567-8900 extension 120. That's 772-567-8900 extension 120. Or visit www.unitedwayirc.org/VITA. Help your community and live united by volunteering today.
of Literacy Services of Indian River County. Jessica, welcome back.
Thank you.
Jessica, so let's share a little bit about the success stories of your students.
Sure. We are so proud of all the things our students accomplish. One off the top of my head, he's a literacy student, really has dreams of being a cook, but he couldn't read the tickets. You think a cook wouldn't need to read, but they do read recipes.
Yes.
So the tutor actually goes to his place of work, and they've been working together for about a year now at least. He's able to read. He's advanced to kind of like the level under cook, and he's training for that. But more importantly, he has a student that was struggling in school, and he's able to read with that student. They're learning together, and the student is doing much better in class. So just the way that trickles down is so neat to see. And the pride on his face when he knows that he can help his child is really awesome. So that's a literacy story I could think of. Another one is one of our ESL students. And when she had her first baby in the hospital, she couldn't read the menu. And so she went a couple days without eating because she didn't know how to ask for it. And that's when she realized she needed help. So she reached out. She still works with her tutor, even though her English is beautiful. They're just fine-tuning it, maybe work on some pronunciation or things like that. She since had another baby, was able to order off the menu, which is such an exciting moment for her. But more importantly, she's gotten her driver's license. She's also become a community volunteer and a community leader. Her friends look to her to help translate for them. She's organized a fundraiser for a family in need, and she helps us out. She's serving on our committee for our graduation ceremony. So learning a language, I mean, before you learn the language, it can be so isolating not to understand what's going on around you. And now that they learn English, they're able to participate in the community and become more involved.
Jessica, thank you for sharing those stories. You are certainly, through literacy services, changing and transforming lives. And we've talked about the students, but now let's talk really about the tutors who make it happen.
Yes.
So where do you find these tutors, and do they have training?
Great question. Well, first we want to thank all the tutors we do have. Last year we had about 190 tutors serve over 12,000 hours working with our students. So that is an amazing accomplishment. Our tutors, we recruit just in the community. They don't need experience in teaching. They don't need to speak another language. They attend a half-day training with our tutor trainer, Ana Vieira, and they learn all about how to help a literacy and an ESL student. And then they get matched after that based upon their schedules, similar interests, location. Once they start working with the student, we don't just let them go. Our door is always open. They can come ask for help. We have bi-monthly trainings on different topics. And we also send out an e-newsletter and a print newsletter as well with all sorts of tips and resources they can use. But really anybody can volunteer. They just have to have a heart for service and, of course, be able to read. I want to reiterate, because a lot of people do think that they would need to speak the other language, but we prefer the immersion method. If they speak the student's language, so often they revert back to that, and the student doesn't advance as quickly as they do when they need to communicate with their tutor in English.
So if there's someone listening now, sitting at home thinking, I have some extra time, I can do this. I don't necessarily need to speak another language. I just need to have an interest and a passion to help someone else.
Right. Yeah, and they create the schedule with their students, so it's based upon their availability. We ask they meet at least once a week, but we prefer twice a week for an hour to 90 minutes at a public location. So that could be the library. We have some areas in the community where they can meet, or if they have an office, or maybe they can meet at Panera, something like that, where it really makes it easy for both the tutor and the student to succeed in meeting together and meeting that schedule. It's really flexible for them.
I'm just thinking of the connection between the tutors and the students, and certainly that sense of accomplishment that the students have for reaching that milestone. But as a tutor, you have this sense of satisfaction. I mean, I'm sure that you deal with them and you've heard of these stories where there's just such a connection.
Yeah, they really build a relationship, and I've heard a lot of volunteers say that they get more than they feel like they give. And they maintain relationships beyond their tutoring services. Once a student moves on they usually do keep in touch. They've formed such a bond. And we almost think that we do think that our tutors are really mentors a lot of the times for our students. They just need somebody to be in their corner as they're learning and as they're trying to get ahead. So the tutor really acts as that for them.
Sort of a life coach to a certain extent, guiding them along the way and cheering them on.
Of those,
of course,
right?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Jessica, talk to us a little bit about this fall lecture series that Literacy Services has. What is that all about?
Yeah, so our author series will be November 15th at Windsor Beach Club. We're really excited to welcome author Michelle Rigby-Assad. She wrote the book Breaking Cover, and it's about her experience as an undercover CIA agent.
Wow.
So she served mostly in the Middle East and counterterrorism. So she should have a wealth of experience and information to share with our audience, and it is a fundraiser for our programs. Our tutoring is offered free of charge to all of our students, and we provide all the training for our tutors free of charge, and then all the curriculum books that the students and tutors use together. So this fundraiser really helps us achieve that. And it's, like I said, it'll be at Windsor Beach Club November 15th, and it starts at 6:30. And tickets are $150 per person and can be purchased on our website or at our office. So really excited and looking forward to that event.
And is this a one-time event, or do you have plans to have more
Our author
authors?
series also includes our Love of Literacy event. That will be in March. That's where our Students of the Year, our Literacy and ESL Students of the Year will speak. And we'll also have an author, which we are looking for one still. Okay. So that's still a secret. We'll be announcing that soon, hopefully.
Well, that sounds very exciting, Jessica, and we'll make sure to spread the word and that people hear about this. So,
Thank
Jessica, for folks who were listening to you today and want to either become a student or become a tutor or support literacy services, how do they get more information?
Sure. So they can go to our website. That's literacyservicesirc.org. Or give us a call at 772-778-2223. That number goes to all of our offices, so you'll be able to reach one of us either in Vero, Sebastian, or Fellsmere. But if you're out and about in the community, come visit us in the Vero Library, the Sebastian Library, or the Fellsmere office outside of the old school building.
And are there specific hours at the libraries?
Yeah, primarily Monday through Thursday, 10 to 4.
Perfect. Well, Jessica, we want to thank you for coming today, and we encourage folks who are listening to visit your website, to also visit your Facebook page, because I know you have an active Facebook page.
Yes. Search for Literacy Services and you'll find us. And thank you for having us, and we're excited to partner with you as well and help serve your families.
Thank you, Jessica. And until next time, this has been Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn.